Traci K. I want to give you some insight and talk to you about another area of metaphysical healing. And I'm not sure if you've heard of these, but like I said, as a metaphysician, there's lots of ways that you can use metaphysics and metaphysical tools to help in areas of your health, wealth, and lifestyle. And this also can be in areas of manifestations also. And I want to talk to you about Grabovoi codes, and want to speak to you in regards to, we should kind of understand that our healthcare right now has become one of the most important things, and we got a really big scare when it came to the pandemic, of course. And a lot of times healthcare can be very expensive depending on what areas you take in your plans. And that's why a lot of people tend to look for alternative type methods. And this is what my area is for, everybody basically knows me as the fitness pageant queen or whatever, and champion pro in regards to fitness. But this is where I took on with some of the medical injuries that I have and found healing, because the traditional wasn't working with my type of energy systems and some of the medications, whatever. I'm not against about that, but you can also use alternatives with it, because it'll help even with side effects. It'll help with healing, and to eventually get you to the point where your body starts to understand and help itself heal. And or it's a practice, just like you do when you work out, so, or just like when you study or learn something and a different language or whatever. And when it comes to manifestations or law of attraction, also a lot of people want to understand the universal laws. As I always make these jokes about, the state law, federal law, or universal law. So the universe is amazing. If you haven't ever really watched anything and learned about the study of how the universe came, or the Big Bang, or whatever you call it, and with that in mind, each one of these combustions or energy patterns or reactions create amazing things. And this is like with our mind. And our mind is a big computer, and we don't use completely all of our brain talent. So the more you learn, the more you can expand on levels of areas where you can actually understand today with our universal systems of codes. And so I want to introduce you to the Grabovoi codes. And if you haven't already checked out my playlist on the metaphysical healing playlist, I would do so now, because there's all kinds of areas of metaphysical healing with using in subliminal and energy medicine, sound healing, Reiki, and also with these hertz, which is an energy medicine part of the codes, where hertz, and also NLP or frequencies and sound. And when you use these Grabovoi codes with it, which is a major plus, you can do amazing things with your manifestations. I'm going to get a little bit about the history about this. And the University of Luxembourg was studies about this, where they had patients who were often made feel like just another number, labeled with a disease. Rolling down a conveyor belt were anonymous types of health professionals, and are the gears touring to the belt, where I'll describe several trends that are driving this change offer. So some of these studies and patient stories to show how the change can be helped to the people, and conclude with some ideas about how we might lessen the negative impacts of the change that trends in regards to shifting in the so-called accumulation of diseases that might cause, burdens and suffering. Increasing people are dying of not infections, but communicable disease, plus chronic diseases and cancer, diabetes, heart, and lung, which now represent more than 3 out of 4 deaths around the world in countries, rich and poor. So what we try to do is get out ahead of that by identifying the people in the population that might have risk factors that may leave them vulnerable to these chronic diseases, such as obesity or smoking or high blood pressure or drug addiction or just anything in regards down the road that unfortunately is not good for anyone. And these patients are brought to attention for this problem in each different types of health system. And so it's just in regards to a lot of times the insurances look at this for the costs and the consequences, population, so to speak. So they want to kind of find out exactly how there's a ways that you can deal with these conditions or the diagnosis of it or intervene. And so what they do is they want to lower the threshold of these diagnosing diseases. And so that, it's a lot for just the studies in regards to maybe delaying or finding ways to the body can heal itself. Just like energy medicine, just like using energy patterns. And so our universe is always in crossing. And if you could see, like when I was a little girl, I was real open to my gift, and I could actually see the streams in the patterns, kind of like what you would call matrix. I can still see them sometimes at points. My eyesight's not getting too good as I get older, but it's actually allowing me to see more, but it's not as clear as when I was younger. But even my eyesight was not as good when I was younger either. But I have learned a way to, when I practice, like when I learned to study how to read auras. And I forgot about that a lot because I was studying a lot of traditional when it came to pre-med and cells. And I learned so much when it comes to cells. So that really, and blood, and the way things work. And I still have my medical books, and I go back and I learned a lot in regards to how energy patterns, even like colors, and the way colors are, it's like color therapy. So getting to the point of this science underneath all this, you can correct there's a code. So when your brain is actually learning these codes, it can actually enhance your manifestations or your healing process. And what I want to help you understand is this is about, the way things are today, because everything is done in a more of a numerical type of looked into, like with your bank accounts, your computers, your codes, your C++. I mean, these are all codes you learn, or just the Java or the, basics where we've been learned in school. So you understand there's actually codes when it comes to our energetic systems. And so these Grabovoi codes are becoming a really big trend. They're actually being talked a lot in TikTok, believe it or not. I'm not on TikTok. I mean, I'm on TikTok, but I'm not on it. But it's just that there's a lot of talk about that. And so I if you look at one of my videos, I actually created with energy medicine, color therapy, with the hertz and the subliminal, and added the Grabovoi codes, speaking in a certain frequency. So vibration. And these Grabovoi codes, there are actual codes that are used to help you in detailed areas of your life. Like, for instance, if you want to lose weight, or if you want to lose weight without dieting, or if you want to manifest unexpected cash, or if you want to manifest a flow of cash, or immediate cash, or if you want to treat hypertension, or you want to deal with your digestive system, or heal your kidney or your liver or your earwax. There's even a certain code where you can do your earwax, get the earwax out of here. Because, like, for instance, I have a hearing impairment, but I also have a trauma from an accident that's in this left side near my middle ear, and it causes, they thought it was going to actually they said I was actually going to die from it, but I actually ended up healing it, and then I was like, no, and they found out later it wasn't going to kill me, but I still have the issue where it is a scar, the scar tissue's there, and it does do drainage, and I get a lot of buildup of, let alone on top of my hearing impairment, but the wax on top of it, you can actually use these vibrational energy medicines, including with the Grabovoi codes, to get and release that earwax out of your ear. This is so amazing. And so what I want to talk about right now is how to use these Grabovoi codes. I'll give you an example where basically, and I'll give you some codes actually you can use, because, and I think this is really great because you would not believe what these codes can do, and I would love to hear some feedback from you to see if any of these codes work for you, and let me know in the comments. That way you can understand and help me understand how this is affecting other people. So with these codes, how you use these codes, and I'll give you an example of, well, first of all, let me just know that these are numbers. They're actually numerical numbers. So you memorize these codes. You repeat them as many times as you want to a day. And then you recite them aloud. You repeat them in a casual way. You keep your inner self at peace. And you've also practiced gratitude and self-love around you. And you smile while you are reciting these codes. And it is intended to give you and create a universal language to respond faster for the good for all on earth. So it's they're just like, and some of these codes can even tap into the higher vibration to where you can, it's like a calling onto giving the universe and using the universe's power to manifest what you desire, what you need to heal. And it can even go far as even with angel numbers. I'm sure you've heard of that in the metaphysics, about angel numbers and stuff like that. Or if you haven't heard of runes, I mean, if you go to the Pick a Card playlist, I'm not sure what it is yet, but upcoming, there's a rune reading. So just like with ancient times when they used geographical type of symbols and they had a power about them. And another thing is, it's really also important when you do these types of Grabovoi codes practice, you can also write them in the air. You can take your whatever in the air. And I'm telling you, if you don't believe me that this doesn't work by using your finger and actually putting these codes in the air, I'll show it to you and prove it to you by a test. There's a test that's in my fun stuff test masterclass, and I'll link it down below in the description box, where it tells you to do this certain thing with your finger, and your body you can't stop it. It automatically responds to it. So another big powerful way to use these codes is by doing them in the air. Another way is also using elements, water element. You can put it on a piece of paper, set your intention on that, write the code, you can write your name, your date of birth, your time of birth. If you haven't understand numerology at all, if you want to get a numerology path, life path, karmic path, I offer that service to you. You can order that through my website, and it takes a little time, so you have to give me some time to prepare it. But I need as much detail as you can. It's just your date of birth and your time of birth and place of birth, numerically, and I can give you that information. Grabovoi numbers are the same way, and they're codes. Like, you can also do it where you can put your date of birth, your name, and you can put the Grabovoi code there, and you can take water that's say you're looking for something to bring to you a new beginning or a new love or a new thing, you could have water, a new moon water that's been activated under the new moon, and you could put it on top of that, even enhance it, or light a candle and add incense. You could use the elements basically, because that's all about our lifestyle. We are all about that: water, air, earth, fire. You know that, and so it's amazing what these gravio codes can do, and it's been tested and shown. So let me give you some of the codes, for example, that you can use. Gravio code for love is 3495820. A gravio code for money is 4055344. Say you want a gravio code for weight loss, it's 3540958. Now, say you want a gravio code for romantic love. Not just love, because love is just love. It just gives you, you're just going to draw love. So, say you want romantic love. The gravio code for that is 6985833. Say you want something that is really different. Like, say you want understanding. You want people to understand you. You want people to understand you and recognize you. And so the gravio code for understanding is 4736593. Stuff like that. There's gravio codes for beauty, passion, pregnancy, fertility, the lottery, marriage, gratitude, keeping negativity away, attracting more positive. There's for friends, and so, or your career, maybe, passion, sex. There's all kinds of things, and you can actually generate your own code. If you want to, say you have a problem, and you don't know what the code to help you with that, you can generate a gravio code to give that. So let's give you some tips on gravio code, and then I'll let you guys check out and give you a quick little sample of a thing that I've actually come up with. It's a sample, and if you ever want something created for you in regard to that, just contact me. And again, if you can afford me on my hourly wage for my practice. So let me give you a tip. You want a tip on how to use these. So first, you want to be specific on what you want. You want to choose what is your code, and then you want to visualize what you want to manifest. All right. So if the healing is, be it financial or physical, and it's a primary need of a person, and they need a gravio code that's together with that, you can create and generate that kind of gravio code, say, to restore oneself by the right codes and numbers. Say you want something, then you're suffering in pain or hardship or chronic disease, or you're under debt or the loss of a business or something, and you find that you would like to generate a healing code for that. It can be generated for you. All you do is type it in. So it's a manifest based on using those generation codes, which is the key to the universal laws, one of the key steps. And you got to choose what is your code. You got to be specific on what you want and visualize what you want to manifest. Eliminate all negative feelings. That means you cannot be in a negative mind state. If you have to, listen to one of my candle healing music therapy to relax and calm yourself, and then work on one of your manifestations for your gravio code, transformation or transition. And then you always got to be proactive in it, and you got to be able to be grateful as it's already here. Be grateful that it's already here in your vortex, not as if you're praying towards you. You want to pray from the victory of it. And if you don't know how to understand about praying from a victory, I also have another video that's in the spiritual vibe message playlist. You can learn about that also just by going to those the videos and watching them. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give you one. It's simple, and I want you to watch the video and listen to it, and there will already somebody be giving the code for that, okay? And it's a simple code, and this one is a sample of reverse aging. So you're going to, this code with this music and the speaking and reciting of it, you're going to get a sample of that right now after I'm done talking to you. Like, yeah, get right to it, Dr. Tracy. Why do you keep talking? I want to get right to it. So let's get to it. And I'm going to give you a sample of that. All you do is watch it, listen, and recite it with it. If you want to, write the numbers in air, whatever you've got to do to make it the most for you, okay? And if you have any comments or questions, just let me know, all right? Take care.
I let go of anger and forgive myself and others. I retrieve my youth and draw back 5 to 10 years or more of my age. I release any stress and energy blocks I have stored in my face. I have beautiful, young, glowing, healthy skin. 915-777-918-934-198 14899983466746775 519-6069-01319. Let go of anger and forgive myself and others. I retrieve my youth and draw back 5 to 10 years or more of my age. I release any stress and energy blocks I have stored in my face. I have beautiful, young, glowing, healthy skin. 915-777-918